Hi everyone, I'm Ramsey, and today we're going deep on MCP, Model Context Protocol, which is honestly one of those things where once you understand it, you can't unsee it, especially if you work in or run a large organization. So find a cozy place and get comfortable. So here's the thing that nobody talks about when enterprises are trying to roll out AI, right? They uh, they think that the tools are the problem, but the tools are not the problem. The tools are actually really good. A lot of these AI tools have gotten to the point where they are smart enough to do almost anything an office worker can do. The problem is that most AI tools were built for like maybe a five-person team, a five-person startup, if you will, where everyone shares the same login and nobody cares who sees what. But enterprises are not that, right? So you've got like finance over here, and then you've got legal over there, you've got HR doing their thing, engineering in their own world. And every single one of those departments has data that the others are not supposed to touch, right? So that's not bureaucracy just for the sake of it. That's like compliance, that's GDPR, that's HIPAA, and your legal team probably on your case. So what happens when you hand a normal AI tool to an enterprise? Basically, the IT team is going to look into it, and they're going to give you the most friction. They're going to see that they can see everything that it's connected to, and they're going to lock that down hard, right? And that's the right call if you have the wrong tools. That's understandable. But here's where MCB changes everything. But before doing that, let me just give you a quick explainer on MCPs. I realize I'm getting ahead of myself here. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. So it's basically a universal standard developed by Anthropic that lets AI connect to tools or data or systems in a structured way. So before MCP, every integration had to be a custom build. Your AI had to be talking to a bunch of APIs, and each of them had their rules, and it was prone to mistakes, and it was a mess to build. If you want your AI to talk to your CRM or your custom work, your internal docs, you have to do more custom work. So it's all expensive and it's just kind of a mess, right? But here's the part that actually matters for enterprises. With MCP, it's not just that you connect AI tools to your system, but like permission context is baked in. And this is the really beautiful thing about MCP that I love. So it knows who's asking, it knows what their role is, and it knows what they're allowed to see. So your finance team can use an AI assistant and it's going to pull from the finance data. And then your engineering team can use the same AI assistant, it'll pull from the engineering data, right? Same AI, totally different contexts, fully governed, whatever you want to call it. So your IT team doesn't have to build a new permission system for every system. Basically, MCP is going to work with the permission systems in whatever it's connected to. So if it's CRM, it'll use the regular logins there and whatever else. So whether it's OAuth or SSO or I don't know, Active Directory, you name it, MCP can work with pretty much all of them. Okay. And it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. So let me make this concrete, right? Because I think this is where it really clicks. So every employee has an AI that they can ask anything, but it only surfaces what they're clear to see, right? So the HR manager will ask about like headcount data. Then he'll get that data, and the new hire maybe will ask the same question, but they'll get their onboarding docs. We're not going to get the headcount data. Same assistant, different context. There's no custom permission layer needed for every single query. Same thing with the engineering guys. They're going to get engineering data, but they won't be able to touch accounts and so on and so forth. I think I really have the point hold down. So what I want you to actually think about for a second here is that whenever we're having big enterprises and they're doing a tech shift, like they're trying to adopt new technology, they're going to have the same kind of pattern, right? So, um, mostly they're going to need something for cloud computing. They're going to need something for their ERP systems, and they're going to need some kind of data infrastructure. So these are the databases and all of that, right? Think about all of these things when they were coming around. When cloud systems came around, the organizations have moved over to that because they weren't always a thing. They got the gains much faster, and the same thing for ERP systems, and the same thing for like different data infrastructures. These guys didn't just save money, they were building a gap in that time. And I know when you're an early mover, it's hard to know if a tech shift makes sense or not. But sometimes you can get the sense depending on the momentum that's building. And that's how it is for MCP and AI right now. So most enterprises will tend to be stuck in one of two places. So either they will have deployed AI tools that aren't very good for security. The security team is nervous about them, or they haven't really deployed anything AI based because nobody's answered the question of security and governance yet, right? Um, and MCP in this case answers both questions, right? And the companies that figure that out first are going to be operating in a completely different gear over the next 2 years. They're going to have faster decisions and less manual work. This is something we've done for clients, and this is something we're actively doing for ourselves too. MCB has been a life changer. That gap won't be obvious at first, but it compounds. And once it's obvious, it's really, really hard to close. So anyway, we're still early in this. I admit the ecosystem is growing fast. It's not fully mature yet though, which honestly makes right now the best time kind of to get your head around it before it becomes the thing that everyone's rushing to catch up on. It's still about a year or a year and a half old. So if this made sense to you, share it with whoever in your organization is supposed to be thinking about AI strategy because this is the conversation that they should be having. I'm Ramsey, and I'll see you in the next one.